Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is a very all fluff, zero plot for part 5 of Stuck Together. It's just a little cute something, so hope you enjoy. It was now the following night after the villain incident, and you were on Hawks' doorstep, ready for the retry date that wasn't going to get interrupted by any villains, hopefully. If you're sexy and you know it, clap your hands. Hawks' cheeky voice crackled through the speaker at the doorstep to his apartment building. His comment threw you, and you needed to think about it for a second, your pause giving him time to clap his own hands. You deadpanned when you heard him clap, followed by his laugh. You're an idiot, you chuckled. I'm a sexy idiot. Come in, he said, pressing the buzzer to unlock the door to let you in. You entered and headed up the stairs to his apartment door. You knew which apartment was his because he was already there, one arm up on the doorframe, watching you walk up the stairs to him. His hawk eyes watching you with a smouldering look to them as you approached him. Yes, you asked, flicking your wings out and then tucking them in behind you. What are you looking at? Just the sexiest thing in this apartment block, he replied. Oh, only this apartment block? You replied in a sassy tone. Okay, this side of town, he said, extending his margins. Oh, so there's someone on the other side of town who is sexier? You asked with a playful hint of jealousy. Eesh, tough crowd, Hawks chuckled. But I know how you work. You're feeling insecure due to being newly out of a toxic relationship, and you want to feel secure and loved in this new relationship. So you're testing me to see if it's worth staying with me, seeing if I really do think the world of you, or should you call it off? You blinked at him, unable to argue. He was right. You couldn't argue with any of that. Damn you, Hawks, he said with a smirk. I'm all over it, sexy. Now, get inside before I get done for touching you inappropriately in a public space, he said, dropping his arm from the doorframe and making the grabby hands motion. You'll do no such thing, you said, quickly reaching behind you and plucking out one of your sharp feathers so you could hold it out threateningly at him. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have one of those too, he said, reaching back with both hands and plucking 2 feathers out. Except I have 2, he added. He used them to half fight, half caress your one feather as he walked backwards into his apartment and you stepped in, following him. Your feeling through your feathers definitely wasn't as defined as Hawks's was. Your ability to sense things through them ended when the feather was plucked from your wing, but you could tell that he was enjoying rubbing feathers with you. You feel good, he said in a provocatively low tone. Get your pervy feathers away from me, you chuckled, pulling your feather back from his. He grinned and dropped his feathers, recalling them back in behind himself, then opening his arms to engulf you in a hug, which you allowed. It was nice to be in his arms again, and you let out a comfortable sigh as your body sank into his. He turned his head and kissed your temple, then your cheek, then your lips as you turned your face to his. Your eyes closed in bliss as your lips and tongues touched and caressed the other, taking a good few minutes to make out in the hallway of his apartment. After ample kissing time had been allowed, Hawks pulled back and took your hand and then led you to the kitchen and dining area. Best we stop now, before I skip dinner and head to the bedroom with you for dessert. You smirked, but made no reply, and he walked you in and opened his palm out in gesture to the kitchen. Ta-da! Chicken is in the oven and should be done soon, he said, looking over his shoulder to you with a big grin on his face, eyes closed happily. You really weren't joking about the chicken, you replied. I told you. I only know how to cook chicken, he chuckled. What you see is what you get with me. I don't hide anything. You gave the back of him a warm smile. That's what you liked about Hawks. Although he was a terrible flirt, taking any opportunity he got to throw a line out, he was genuine. Did you want me to set the table for dinner? You asked, looking over to the table that was not set at all. Oh, thought maybe we could Netflix and chill, but it's Netflix and eat. We can chill in my bed later, or on the lounge if you want. I'm not fussy, he said with a smirk, pausing to give you a wink before pulling his oven door open to look in. What if I don't want dessert or chill or anything like that? You asked with a defiant sound to your voice, testing him once again. Yeah, that's fine, but your body wants me. It and I have been talking ever since you got here, and it definitely wants to do some exercise later. Your face heated up, and you looked away, scratching your cheek with your index finger. Well, he's not wrong, you thought. I've definitely had that on my mind ever since I saw him. I don't want to say I can read your mind, but I hear you loud and clear, he chuckled. Stop it, you chuckled back. You stop it, you and those thoughts. I am a gentleman. What do you take me for? Someone who invited you over for a lovely night that ended with myself and yourself between the sheets? Yes, you deadpanned. Okay, you got me. He grinned at you, flicking the oven off and opening it again. It's done. Come here, my first love. You chuckled and shook your head, quickly grabbing 2 plates from the cupboard that his feathers had already floated over to open for you. Thanks, he said happily when you presented the plates to him. You're welcome. That chicken does smell good, he said, inhaling noisily while you watched him lift the dish out and place it gently atop the stovetop. You both stood there for a minute, just basking in the sight, then he very quickly grabbed the utensils to cut the chicken up, and he was into it, carving off pieces and placing them on your and his plates. Once you had an ample amount of chicken each, you followed him into the lounge to watch some TV. There was a new movie release that you had wanted to see, and it just so happened to be on the list, so he clicked onto that, and you settled down side by side to eat and watch. It was clear that Hawks either wasn't super used to having company, or he was just so single-mindedly focused on the chicken that he forgot about everything else, so you had to pause the movie multiple times for getting cutlery, drinks, napkins, sauce, etc. But finally the food was eaten and the movie was watched, and you were both stuffed and content. Oh, that was such a good movie, you said with a smile at him as the lights from the rolling credits on screen illuminated your faces. He rolled his head to look at you and grinned. We could have sat here and watched a plastic bag flap in the wind for all I care. I'm just happy to be with you. Okay, that was weirdly smooth. You melted a little and smiled shyly at him. Whatever, you chuckled bashfully. No, seriously, he said, as he placed a hand on your knee to get your attention on him, since you had looked away for a second. I'm really into you. I hope you give me a chance, because I'm in this for the long haul. You melted a little again, and leaned into his side, smiling up into his face. Yeah, guess we do need to see how this goes, he said as he glanced at his lips. Now for dessert, he leered cheekily. Ugh, Hawks, you ruined the moment, you chuckled. No, honestly, I do have dessert. It's in the kitchen, he laughed. But if your mind is going there, then... Get back, you giant ball of feathered hormones, you laughed, pushing him off as he tried to cage you in on the lounge, making him fall back with a chuckle. This giant ball of feathered hormones isn't opposed to the idea of making little balls of feathers. Just saying, he said as he got up and followed you to the kitchen, gently tapping your ass playfully as he followed you. See, I told you it was all fluff and no plot. Next week will be part 5 of You Lose, the Bakugo one-shot that has turned mini-series like this one. And that one will be all thrill, no chill. So I'll see you there.